Hi ladies, the biggest difference to how you go through midlife and your symptoms is actually what you're putting in your mouth every single day. And I bet it's something that you haven't really thought about. You know, we may have a lot of menopause symptoms and some of them could be coming directly from the food that you're eating every single day. Welcome to Menopause Mastery, where we thrive in menopause and not just survive. The food that we eat, if you think about it, the food that we're putting into our bodies is what our body has to work with every single day. So it literally affects every single cell. Every bit of us is having to work with that food. And if we're not paying attention, it can have a hugely negative impact. You may still be working with food that you've been having in your life for so many years. If you're in your 50s, you may have been eating the same food for the last 30 years, say, and not really felt any need to shake it up. And you may have had some symptoms, but not really related those symptoms to the food that you're eating. And it's so easy, isn't it, to just eat food unconsciously. And what I mean is, we are so habitual with everything that you could be eating half a packet of biscuits, say, every single day, and you're not actually really aware that you're doing it. You know, maybe you have sweets in a bowl in the office and everybody helps themselves and you just do it as you're walking past and you don't really think about it. Or you have a sweetie drawer in your home, you know, and it's for the kids really, but you dive in there as well. And again, it's not something that you're consciously doing, so you would never really think to make any changes to it. I am still really good friends with my ex-husband and I visit his house fairly regularly in the week, and he has a drawer in his kitchen which is absolutely full of chocolates, sweets, chewing gum, etc. And I'm almost like, it's like Pavlov's dogs. I walk into the kitchen and the first thing I do, if I'm not thinking about it consciously, is go towards that drawer, and I can be eating a couple of pieces of chocolate before I think, actually, I didn't really want to do this. So this video is really for you to start taking notice of what you're doing. You know, it may be somebody brings a birthday cake into work, and doesn't that happen a lot? You know, it's always somebody's birthday, there's always cake lying around. And again, you go into the kitchen to make a cup of tea and you have another piece of cake. And at the end of the day, even if you were making a note of what you'd eaten, you could have forgotten that. So it's about being more mindful and just starting perhaps at home with maybe realigning your kitchen so that you might have things lying around that are just too easy to pick up. And I know I have to be really wary of that because I work from home. So sometimes I'm a little bit bored or I want to have a break and I just come wandering into the kitchen and there's something there and I put it in my mouth before I've even thought about it. So we're talking about being more conscious about your eating habits. So what you could do is put all your sweet treats, your biscuits, your crisps, etc. into one cupboard, yeah? And then at least you have to make an effort to open the cupboard door. Or you could, depending if you've got kids or not, I know kids often like to have a sweetie drawer, but if you don't have kids, you have got the perfect reason to not have those things in the house. I've got a client whose husband always brings sweet treats in, and she works from home and she'll find herself wandering into the kitchen and just opening the cupboard and eating them. So we were talking about how she could make some changes to that and maybe ask him, first of all, not to bring them in the house, or secondly, if he could keep them in his work bag so that when he goes to work in the morning, he actually takes them. I mean, this all sounds ridiculous, but we need some prompts to help us sometimes, just to make us a lot more conscious and kind of put some distance between us and the food that we really don't want to eat. And I think if you don't have it in the house, you think to yourself, well, would I actually go out and drive to get something? Probably not. So you've kind of eliminated that. You've put a step in between what you were doing before and what you're doing now. And then actually even writing it down every single day, you know, what have I eaten? Have a little tracker, because you will be much more aware of it if you're taking it with you. Just a little notebook would work. Take it round with you, you know, and have a look at what you're eating, because if you're living on things like processed foods, which includes sweets, chocolate, crisps, you know, anything from those middle aisles in the supermarket, those are the ones we want to watch, because actually they create a lot of inflammation in the body, and inflammation can already be happening in menopause from our hormones declining, from all sorts of other things that are going on. And what we don't want to do is add fuel to the inflammation fire by eating a poor diet. And if we're relying on those foods from the middle aisle, then that's what's going to happen, because our body is not able to work so well with those kind of foods as it would with things like, a piece of protein, some vegetables, and a sweet potato, say. So you've got your basics there, and they're proper whole foods, whereas so many of the foods we eat nowadays are just purely manufactured to hit the sweet spot of our taste buds so that we want more and more and more. And it really is difficult to stop. I get you, it really is difficult to stop. So we've got to help ourselves, we've got to be kind to ourselves, we've got to look at ways of making it easier for ourselves. And we have lots of other videos on food and foods specific to menopause and how they can help you to build the body that you want and the body that's going to help you to thrive for the rest of your life, because you may live for another 40 years. So if you continue to eat processed food, you're going to continue to have that inflammation in your body. Whereas if you can work on the 80-20 rule, so 80% of the food you're eating is wholesome and only 20% is, say, alcohol and processed foods, then you're on to a winner with your body, because your body knows how to work with that. I hope you got a lot from this. If you've had some experience, please share below, put some comments and let other people know how you've managed to make some changes. And please subscribe to our channel. Thanks, ladies. Have a great day.